This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. For some of us, the guitar can be a little bit of a two-pronged instrument, right? So you get like this kind of AC/DC thing, right? Where you have a rhythm guitarist and a lead guitarist, or, you know, there's been this sort of thing like Nile Rodgers, you maybe think of a rhythm guitarist, or Cordy. And then you'd have kind of quintessential lead guitarist, you know, whether it's someone like Steve Vai or Joe Satriani, people that are playing lead guitar through the majority of a song, where you think about the guitar in that case as something kind of like a saxophone. Now, I think I'm probably like a lot of people in that early on when I started playing guitar, it was the lead guitar stuff. You know, I'm talking once I started off playing kind of acoustic stuff and chords and playing along with church stuff, but when I really started practicing a lot was when the kind of lead playing kind of caught my attention. So Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, John Petrucci, Iron Maiden, this sort of stuff. Since then, really, I guess my main focus predominantly has been on the guitar as like a lead instrument, right? And playing notes, playing solos, playing phrases, but often, most of it, single line stuff, right? Sort of like a saxophone or something like that. Now, move forward to something like 2015, 2016, when I started trying to do music full time as a musician and make money off of it. The thing that you kind of realize is that most of the time on most gigs, you are not playing a solo. And the thing that you've practiced maybe 75, 80% of the time, the thing that you do most of the time when you pick up the instrument is actually not what's required on most gigs. And you think about, so as someone who does function gigs, in certain function gigs I might have like one solo in the whole night, you know, in one band that I play with from Bristol. A lot of it is kind of disco based, kind of funky guitar playing, or soul based, or this sort of stuff. And oftentimes you go a whole set just playing kind of chord vamps and stuff like that. The other really good way to get work as a guitarist, though, is accompanying a singist, or doing solo guitar if you're really good at it. And I was just watching actually on TrueFire. TrueFire sponsor this channel, and when I find it appropriate to point out something that I really like on there, I will do so. I was watching Mike Dawes, amazing fingerstyle guitarist, on there, and I think I'm going to watch some more of it and try and pick out some lessons from it, because I want to get some more kind of fingerstyle stuff. I was looking at Black Friday at that acoustic guitar. I've already got an acoustic guitar that I really like. I was watching some Tommy Emmanuel stuff. He's also got TrueFire lessons, and it made me think, right, it would be kind of cool again to focus some attention on some of this acoustic stuff as well, because with the acoustic guitar, it's much more likely that you're going to get involved with this kind of chord bass playing than lead bass playing. You know, you're not playing with loads of gain and delay and reverb, and it's actually the kind of stuff that you end up doing on real gigs when you're in the real world, I find often. Of course, sometimes you get to play Bon Jovi and then you get to let your hair down, but most of the time, and the majority of the gigs that I get, they might be playing in a cafe with a singist, or, you know, accompanying a band, and you're playing kind of rhythm guitar most of the time. So it makes tons of sense to focus a lot of energy on this stuff and try and find the joy in it. Now, today I wanted to talk about a song I really like to play with my wife, the tune Landslide by Stevie Nicks from Fleetwood Mac. And I just used that for the introduction there to kind of show a thing where you could pick a tune that you already know and start trying to play it in this finger picking style. And I think that's kind of where these people started. Mike Dawes, I watched his TrueFire thing. He's got some really interesting points. He's quite a funny guy. He mentions the unfortunate name of his guitar luthier, Andreas, I'm not going to say the next part, and also mentions ex-girlfriends not liking his... Anyway, so, yeah, I think that for me is going to be something I delve into a bit more, maybe pick up the nylon acoustic and stuff, just because I think it's worthwhile, because you spend a lot of time once you get gigs as a guitarist in this kind of realm, not so much, you know, worrying about which altered scale to play or which mode. It's more just accompany a singer and try and sound good. It took me maybe sort of 10-15 years into my kind of guitar playing life to actually get interested in the acoustic guitar and kind of fingerstyle playing, ditching the pick. And I first of all got an acoustic guitar and started doing this kind of thing where you kind of go... These kind of where you're running up and down in kind of position. And using your thumb and fingers. Mike Dawes talks about planting his pinky sometimes, or often, and you could do that to try and feel a bit more comfortable. You don't have to do this on acoustic. Of course, finger picking sounds amazing on electric guitar as well, I think. Anyway, so that was kind of where I started off. And the other point is that some of the great guitarists that you like to listen to, Eric Johnson, Alan Holdsworth, all these guys had amazing, I think, acoustic playing and chord playing as well. You can find the Alan acoustic playing early on in his albums, and Eric Johnson, of course, you can find. Pat Metheny, amazing acoustic player. Matteo Mancuso, again, you know, a guy who never used as a pick. Really cool. I think we need to try and sometimes get connected with our right hand a little bit more. But what I tried to focus on was being in control of the dynamics. And kind of be careful about timing, and also try to do kind of smooth transitions between soft and loud, and that sort of thing really helped. But also, you know, try kind of permutations, so you might go thumb, middle, index, ring. And vice versa. Okay, and then once I'd got kind of comfortable with that idea, I started to try these more full chords. So for Landslide, for example, is something like this. So I'd have a 3rd fret with a G. I would mute the A with the fat part of my middle finger, open D, and then A on the 2nd fret and D here. And experiment with different kind of finger picking ways. So straight up and straight up again. And all that's moving there is the bass. And then here, I move from the 2nd fret to the 4th. And take 2nd fret off. And we're moving from the 4 to 1 in 1st inversion to chord 2. And try different patterns. I can't remember exactly what I did now. You could do different things, but get involved with the thumb. And try and be kind of repetitive with whatever your pattern happens to be. And I find this thing really, really fun to do. So what I'll do is tab out that kind of initial piece that I did. So yeah, try and be methodical about what you're doing. So for this particular Landslide, you could go. But that's what I actually do. So you're going up and then you hit your G again. And then the octave A and the D. And in between all of those you get that G. And then rise up for the D, so the E minor. Really, really cool. And then for the chorus, I go to this A kind of sus. So we've got the A, we've got an F sharp on the 4th fret, open G, and a D on the 3rd fret. And then up and same kind of thing. So you get with the thumb. So we go from the D to an A sus in 1st inversion. So we got the 4th fret here, the A on the 2nd fret, and the D on the 3rd fret, and then a B minor for 2, 2, 3. And then when we're gonna, so like this. So there from the B minor, just drop the bass. And then that same rhythm from the verse. And then same rhythm. And again. And you're looking to avoid these kind of ringing things, and this is a thing that you get more conscious of and more aware of aware of as you get better. So I think we should all spend more time on this particular skill. I'll put the tab for that up on Patreon, but those are some really beautiful chords. Try these things with the capo as well, move them around. We're playing in D for this particular thing, so I've shown you there a chord of D, a chord of A, a chord of G, D in first inversion, E minor. And with all of that stuff, you could probably write an Ed Sheeran song, right? Or a Fleetwood Mac tune. I think it's a really important skill that I should have got on board with way earlier. Sorry, I've just been coughing and sneezing. Because this is the sort of thing that actually you need to be able to do if you're going to be, in my opinion, a working guitarist. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have you found any really good fingerstyle material? I think Andy McKee, Mike Dawes, Tommy Emmanuel, some of the best kind of players in this realm, they're all on TrueFire. You can use the JNC 40% off code, JNC40, and probably the most efficient way to do that would be to use the All Access Pass, which gets you access to all of the TrueFire stuff for a year. So, you know, really good value, I think. And the Mike Dawes, the Tommy Emmanuel, Andy McKee stuff is where I'm going to be focusing quite a lot of attention, because I think it's a really important skill for guitarists, in my opinion. I'll catch you in another video soon. Patreon to get the backing track, as well as the tab for that intro. Cheers.